We have a saying around here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no brains, no headache.
Well, hello, boys.
What's up? What's up?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Heyo, episode 196, No Brains, No Headache podcast coming at you from the studio today. We got a full one for you, ready to rock and roll. Name's Jordan, gonna be your host. Happy to be here. Damn glad to do it, as always. You know, this is one thing, something I love. You have passion bucket overflowing. Across from me, I have my longtime friend, co-host, confidant, fellow comedian. Some call him Matt. I call him Ongo. Ongo, how art thou today? What's up?
Doing pretty good. I just had a comment to make. You know, I really like when someone dresses up for a holiday, but Jordan, you really miss the mark here.
420?
Oh yeah,
420 coming up. This is our 420 episode. And what more appropriate guest could we have than the very own Bismarck specialty? He's a comedian. He has been in the game for a while. One of my longtime friends, actually. We've known each other for quite a while. Brandon Loftis. Brando, welcome to No Brains, No Headache.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's so good to have you here. We've just making our rounds with all the comedians, and you're probably like, what the heck? Why haven't you had me on? Well, you did have, a child's birth to deal with, so that kind of implicates scheduling just a touch.
Yep.
But good to have you here.
Good to be here. Yep.
What do you think of this grade A production?
It's great. The live audience. I'm glad they're here.
Definitely live.
Yep.
They're quiet today, but that's all right. We'll make them laugh. Yeah, it's great. Sound dampening everywhere. I'm happy to be here. It looks great, guys.
The lights aren't too bright.
No, it's not one of those like at Cornhole. Where you're looking out.
Oh,
and you're like, I can't see if there's
I got a
anybody out
sunburn at cornhole.
Yeah. Well, that's not hard.
You think it would help?
What's your okay? Starting off early.
Would it help with nervousness if the light is so bright you can't even see the crowd? That's how I feel at that venue. It's just like
I don't like it. I like to see.
I like to see them.
Yeah.
I did a show at BSC in January, and the stage lights were so bright I couldn't see anyone. And then it was a 300-person auditorium. And it was students only, and they only let actual students in if they brought their ID, and only 30 kids showed up. And so not only can you not see, but then apparently they were laughing, my wife said, but you couldn't hear it, and then I was blinded. So, and the first 2 rows were completely empty, and that's all that I could see. So I was just like, I hope there's people here.
It'd been so funny if they would have turned on the auditorium lights at the end. There's like one person, and it's just Sam Bria sitting in the middle. Woo!
That's pretty much what it felt like. It was honestly the second most awkward gig I've ever done. That's for sure.
That's a good rep right there, though. Just is decent stage, decent venue overall. Just the turnout wasn't there.
I wish that what they should do is just do like free for students, and then $20 or $10, whatever, for anybody to come.
Oh, you would have definitely got people to come.
Yeah.
Like, no brainer.
I don't want state schools to start getting into the local comedy game, all right? That's just unfair competition, I
They're
feel.
already there, though. But, yeah.
Yeah, they hired you for... Was it just you?
It was just me, yeah.
How long did you do?
I did it almost an hour to an empty, quiet room. It sucked.
Dude, that's like something they would have you do like in solitary confinement. Like, you got to do an hour of comedy.
Oh, it seriously felt like some sort of torture.
That's all right, though. A gig's a gig.
Gig's a gig. Money's money. They handed me a check, and I was happy.
And I just ran as fast as I could out of there.
And was like, please, don't recall me. Yeah.
Be like, I know this is a college gig for a bunch of underage kids, but I'm going to need a 30 rack of beer in my green room. Also, smoking is on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was no green room.
Oh.
It was just a little corner backstage. So,
Was it the janitor's closet?
no, there was just a bunch of chairs.
Oh.
So it was like, seating for 100.
We've done worse for a green room.
For sure.
But I feel like it's such an important thing. That's why I was, in our past shows, I've always at least had a makeshift green room, try to make it comfortable. I'm the green room mom of the crew. I bring the baby powder for the hands, the hand sanitizer, the Kleenexes, bunch of cold medicine. Well, that was just last time because I had a cold and I was very sick. But I think the green room's important. It's so underrated. What do you think? Like,
I think
are you
it's
picky
important.
about it? I am.
I don't know. Maybe it seems like it could get real awkward. I think what's cool about the green room is we're all buddies. But I was in a green room one time, and it was 2 comedians from Minneapolis. It was with Nate Smezrud when he was running a show at the Speakeasy, and it was just me and these 2 strangers who were also lovers, just sitting there in this really, like, smaller than this area. So we were all just kind of cooped up in there, and I was like, this sucks.
Isn't that just a kitchen?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, it is important, but I think that it would be fun if you loved the people, which I love you guys. But so this isn't awkward, but it could be awkward if you're the third wheel of a throuple,
That does sound weird. When you came back from that show, when you came back from the stage, did it kind of smell a little bit like sexual intercourse in there?
I wouldn't know.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
I left immediately right after it.
I just walked off the stage through the crowd out the door.
Yep.
That's the way they do it. We got a good one, though, lined up here with Brando. Something new for the show. We are not swearing this episode.
Yeah.
Holy
So,
cow.
Brando, if you could kind of help us keep track.
Yep.
We're supposed to have a swear jar here. We prepare very well. It's one of the things we take very seriously on this show.
Great.
So we don't have a swear jar right now, but let's just act like we do.
Anything that would get dumped on a radio show.
Okay,
is
so
what I'm
no
trying-
F words, no SHITs.
Nope, no B words.
Can I say ASS?
If it's in a context of
Okay.
talking about a donkey.
But not like...
No.
Okay. And by B word, do you mean the female dog version B word?
Yep.
Okay.
What's the other one?
Well, anything beyond that, that should just be our-
there's like any sort of like racial slurs or a no-go.
like next Tuesday, probably not.
Yeah, it's just we keep it PG here. And this was even before you were going to come on. We were like, we're doing a PC. I think I called it something like the PC radio safe.
Oh,
No
yeah.
swear word show.
I remember
Like,
now.
It had a terrible name.
Because
but
we talked about having a morning segment on radio, and then I was like, I don't know if I could go
Yeah,
without
so we gotta-
swearing.
we gotta
So
try.
now we're trying it. We're
Yeah.
practicing for the future.
Good.
Do you think that's a lateral move from a podcaster to an AM radio spot? What kind of move is that?
I feel like the real money's in the podcasting.
Oh,
I mean, maybe.
as you can see,
As we-
we're loaded.
Yeah. Fruit snacks don't buy themselves. I'll tell you that for free.
You see that gong over there? I think Matt just got that imported for free.
Wow.
No,
Nice.
because it was from some sort of international.
You see that 9/11 memorial statue over there?
Yeah, haven't taken my eyes off it since I got here.
If it goes missing, I know who took it.
Yeah.
If with Brando, I'd be more worried about the chess pieces. This guy's a chess savant.
Savant, that's generous. I've lost a lot of games in the past 2 days.
Well, there's a tournament coming up.
I thought you were
Can we
going to
s-
say, like, in a lifetime. You're like, in the last 2 days.
No, yeah, for sure, 2 days.
Do you play the same people online?
No, there's 81 million registered accounts on chess.com. So
There's also 81 million registered sex offenders as well. So it's a
doesn't-
1-to-1
it
ratio.
doesn't correlate.
What's the
though.
Venn diagram of, like,
I
vendors
think
and
it's
the...
very small.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to say for the record, I am not a registered sex offender any longer.
But a registered chess player.
Side note here, I saw a tweet today that it was like Phoenix Suns super fan comes out as registered sex offender, and some guy quote tweeted it and said, "Could you imagine having it displayed to the entire world that you were a Suns super fan?"
That's great.
That's
and
rich.
how do you come out as a sex offender?
I think they just found out. They're like, this guy
okay.
that's been sitting front row. It's like, also, how is he affording this?
Gotcha.
No, I don't think you come out. It's called the police report.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
It's like, is that something you sit down?
It's not like a sexual orientation.
Yeah, exactly.
Mom, Dad, this is going to be really tough to say. You know, if that were the case, I'd just let my parents find out the old-fashioned way.
Exactly. My mugshot on Facebook.
Yeah. I do like your joke about that. It's a great
Thank
joke.
You. Thank you.
There's a chess tournament coming up soon.
Where?
I'll have to look at it when we get done here, but Should we sponsor you? Should we just and have like? Should we treat it as if it's boxing?
Yeah.
And Matt's got like a spit bucket. I got the towel and the water and like the Vaseline.
Put a
for some reason.
mouth guard
Yeah.
in.
That'd be great. I'm down. I'll wear little shorts. With
Yeah.
And then you wear boxing gloves and you're trying to make pieces.
Yeah. Man, is it like? Do you know? Is it like the state tournament or?
No, I think it's just a local tournament. I thought of you right away when I saw it, and then I scrolled right past. You know, had my attention for about 3.8 seconds, which is good.
That is good.
Yeah, so I just thought of that, but
Have you played in like a state tournament for chess?
I played in last year's in 2023. Yeah,
How'd you do?
I won my division. Yeah, which was great. I wasn't rated high enough to end up like being able to be the state champion. But I've kind of fallen out of since having kids. I've kind of fallen out of the local chess scene a little bit. But yeah, me and the state champion play pretty frequently together, and
Do you beat him?
I've beat him a handful of times. But otherwise, he gets me. But it's never like a mopping of the floor. That's the good news. It's always like, that was a good game.
Yeah. See, I'm good enough at chess, but then when I play someone that knows what they're doing, like my brother's pretty good, and he's like, just got to control the middle of the board. And I'm like, where did all my pieces go?
Yeah, that's tough. It sounds like you'd be fun to play.
Oh yeah, it would be we'll play after this if you want to. It'll take about 35 seconds.
Yeah.
It'll take longer to set up the board than the actual game. But I did watch like when Queen's Gambit came on Netflix, and everyone went bananas for chess.
The Netflix effect, they call it.
Yeah.
It like ramped up.
Yeah, it went bananas. But I was like, maybe that's what chess needed. And then they're like, is there going to be a second season? No,
Maybe not. Hopefully so.
I don't think there is.
But you were an OG. You were into it before the Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, I got into it. My grandpa taught me when I was 10, and then that came out, when I was like 25. So, but I didn't play from like age 10 to 24. So I got into it like a year before the Queen's Gambit came out. And then everybody was like, "Oh, did you get into it because of the Queen's Gambit?" And then that pisses me off. I was like, no.
Who would ask that question?
I know.
It's a
Brandon,
stupid question.
swear jar.
No. Did I say something bad?
You said the P word.
Oh, that.
Dude, there was some lines
me
coming.
off.
Yeah, there was some lines coming out on a wager of who was going to swear first, and Brandon didn't even have any odds.
Is PISS a swear word?
I don't know. I'm counting it though.
How long have you been doing comedy, stand-up comedy?
I've been doing it for 4.5 years now.
Wow. Make the rest of us look terrible. How did you even start it? You've been living in Bismarck that whole time, no?
Yep. I moved back to Bismarck 2016, and then my brother's an author, and he loves comedy, magic, and music, and so he's also an author, and so did I say that already? I don't
Yeah,
know.
it seems like a real fun
So
guy.
he's an author, and he's also an author. And so anyway, he was doing a book launch, and he was like, "Hey, I love those three things, and so I'm going to have you do comedy at my book launch event." So he hired a musician and a magician, that Nick MacArthur guy who was at my show, and so we all did it. And so I did like 15 minutes, and he paid me $100, and so I was like, sick. And it for a first time, it went great. I listened to it like a couple months ago, and it's not horrible. It's not great.
You're not cringing the whole time.
I'm not cringing the whole time.
I look at the jokes I wrote for my first show, and I was just like, "Oh my god, I said these."
It's so bad too. I watched my first show and I was just like, people paid for this? I can't believe that.
90% of my jokes didn't have punchlines. Like they just ended on like an open-ended thing. Like, yeah, that's why I never go hunting. And it's like, you didn't say a beginning of that.
The one that I really liked from that one was the one with Zach. Maybe this one had Zach Rittenhouse at it. It was people who use androids are like people from Mandan.
Yeah,
you
but
brought that one out.
But that was an accidental joke. Like I didn't write it until I saw my friend from Mandan sitting there, and I was like, "Yeah." But that was like the only joke that was like decent, and I didn't even write it.
You should work on that because that was good. That was like a year and a half ago, and I still bring it up.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy because it seems like it's been longer. I feel like it's like it hasn't been very long, but I mean we've actually been starting to get more into like a rhythm of doing things more often, which really helps. But if you're the only person doing comedy in Bismarck other than like your brother, how else would you practice?
Yeah, that was tough. So that show, that first one ever, was New Year's Eve 2019. And so the next day was the forgotten year, 2020. And so, the world shut down. And so I did a few open mics around here. There was a place that shut down that did a couple that I went to, and then Laughing Sun had one that a friend of mine signed me up for. And so I did it like 4 or 5 times, and then people were like, okay, Brandon's a comedian now. So then the world shuts down, and then all these places are reaching out to me, all these like businesses that are like, hey, do you want to do an Instagram live comedy show so we can get social engagement? And I'm like, yes, because I hate myself and it sucked. But
it really warmed you up for doing a show in complete empty auditorium.
Yes,
so.
exactly. Yep, my BSC show years later would be a stark reminder.
You were ready
of
for
the dark
that.
days. Yeah. Exactly. So that's how 2020 went, and then 2021 rolls around, and then my church just like started hiring me for like young adults nights and like small group kickoff things, and so I did a couple times then, and it went pretty good. But yeah, I hear myself and I'm like, holy cow, dude, get to the point. I tell this story that I'm still telling about like hitting the kid in the wheelchair with the t-shirt, and I'm like talking, giving so many details. I'm like, so it was in Colorado, and I knew the people who were putting on the cons, and I just like give like 2 minutes of unfunny, unimportant details.
We had ribs at their house the night before.
Exactly.
They were a little undercooked.
Exactly. It was my first time having Sweet Baby Ray's, and and so I just, that's basically how it started, and just kind of kept going, and then put on my own show, met up with you guys, and here we are now, a year and a half later. I think almost 2 years ago I ran into you at the street fair.
Yeah, it'll be Matt and I's 2-year anniversary in June of 24
Nice.
here.
Congrats.
I feel good about it. I mean, I've been doing a lot of shows, and that was straight coincidence how we ran. I mean, I'm sure we would have ran into each other eventually.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically what happened is I ran into Brando at a street fair. Mm-hmm. We went to the 8th grade together. 1
year, and then you disappeared.
Yeah, Jordan got kicked out of my school.
Yeah.
I resigned before they could fire me. Thank you.
Okay.
And the private school system just wasn't for me. So that's why I went to the public schools for 1 year, then straight back to the private schools. But had a good time. But yeah, Brando and I went to 8th grade together, Matt, in case you were unaware of that.
Why am I jealous of that fact?
And the reason I call you Brando, do you remember? Very dumb.
I don't know why you did. Everybody did, but I don't know why you did.
I believe, if I remember right, it was the standardized testing where you have to fill in your names with bubbles, and there wasn't enough, so it just came out as Brando. So we all call you Brando.
Yep.
Because do any of our comedian friends, do they call you Brando at all?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm honored. It's got to be our thing.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank
Keep it in
God.
the family.
Let's keep that exclusive.
Wait, let's go back. So standardized testing, if you had a name that was 6 letters long, that was like the top. They're like, wow.
I think that's all they needed.
I feel like majority of the names now are over 6 letters.
Muhammad.
Brandon's pretty common.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
My roommate's name is also Brandon.
Matthew.
Matthew, I couldn't write my name. Also used the wrong social security number for the first 19 years of my life, so that was fun.
I mean, Jordan is perfect in every way, pretty much. So that's nice. But yeah, that's why I call Brando. Anyway, we ran into each other at a street fair. I was slinging some hooch at the time.
That's right.
And I saw Brando there. And
our eyes locked across the busy thoroughfare.
and we're catching up, and I'm like, yeah, I've been doing comedy, and I don't know how it exactly went, but
it was because you said that, and I'm not kidding. I don't know why I even thought of this, but I was just like randomly thinking about you, like probably 2 weeks before I saw you. Don't know why. Haven't thought about you in years, but I saw you.
Or
I was thinking about you.
Speaking of no one's looking.
I was thinking about you, and I was like, Jordan would be a good comedian. And then I saw you 2 weeks later, and then you're like, I've been doing comedy, and I was like, what are the odds of that?
Okay,
happening?
at that point, I did one comedy show. Let's pump the brakes. But
still,
yeah, and then I had you open for us the very next show, like 2 weeks after that. So we were off to a hot start,
right?
A running start. I'm so glad that we we caught up and we got going together.
I know, it's
It's
great.
awesome.
So this is how it made me feel when you opened up because you were before me, and
Which just says a lot.
Yeah, you did your set, and I was like, oh God, I am significantly worse than that.
Oh my gosh. And I don't even feel like that went very well for me.
I think it was more of like our degenerate friends who were like, let's see how many beers we could drink in this hour and a half comedy show.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. But like, cause I remember I was like, I think I like introduced Jordan or something, and we were taking a break, and I was like, so Brandon talked about Christian rock. This is going to be nothing like that.
That was a great turnout, though. It was a fantastic show. Thinking back on it now, it was a nice little trajectory we were on to just have a lot of people there, at least to fill out that venue. A bit smaller, but that was fun. That was the janitor closet green room.
Oh, yeah.
There's lawn chairs and a cooler.
Those are some nice lawn chairs.
Dude, they were nice lawn chairs.
Yeah. And I love when you can bring your own booze in. That one was, we knew the owners there, so we could just bring in our own case of beer. Just kind of defeats the whole purpose of the bar.
Right.
But yeah, no, that was a good time. So I'm glad we got started off. How do you feel about everything that has transpired in the local market since then?
The local comedy market?
Yeah.
That's a big question. How do I feel about everything?
I mean, just like the growth and like how things are going.
The economy right now.
Yeah. Like, that's a big one.
Everything under the sun, go.
Yeah.
Let me talk about inflation.
No, I'm pumped. I honestly am shocked. And it's been really good for me because so many people have started things and started open mics and started coming out. Before it was like, if I go to this local open mic, like there's a local music academy that was running an open mic at Laughing Sun, and it was just this open mic, and I was like, hey, I commented on the post. I was like, I'm a comedian. Could I come and do a set? And they were like, very cryptic answer. They were like, come and see what happens. And I was like,
You just kick the crap out of you in the parking lot.
exactly. I was like, I'm not gonna
Come in with tissue stuffed in your nose, just bleeding. Yeah, there's a no-go on the comedy.
get beat up by a 12-year-old with a violin. Yeah,
I've seen it before.
yeah, it's rough.
I think we tied, though, because I only fractured one skull and she only broke one violin. So
And so it was tough to even like get stage time. And so now having people like you and Cole starting open mics and stuff has been really good. But then also having other comedians has just been super. It's been super fun because we're all getting to that point where we're all becoming actually good friends, and that's been fun. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like having the sense of community to like keep going has encouraged me to actually keep going, to show up. And I never had a reason to go to a musical academy open mic and see what happens. Super cryptic. So no, I'm excited about it. I'm happy that with how it's grown so much already. 10 regulars or something like that coming to the open mics. I feel like that's pretty cool. And then getting paid gigs. I mean, I couldn't be happier, honestly. It's great.
Yeah. Well, you're the seasoned vet, I feel, out of the crew.
I suppose.
the godfather of local comedy, if you will.
I was thinking about the Marlon Brando voice, but I don't know if I can do it.
It just sounds like someone just throat jabbed you.
Yeah,
and you're like,
exactly. I'm not very good at it. All my impressions sound the exact same. Like Donald Trump,
Yeah, that wasn't.
Marlon Brando.
That's Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, your Marlon Brando is pretty good. Your Trump's pretty terrible.
And ironically, my Clint Eastwood is like, hello. And I was like,
I hit
wow.
another octave.
that is so wrong.
You sound like you're from London. No pressure on the impressions, though. I know we've had some good ones over the episodes, but no pressure on the impressions.
No,
I've been working on my
terrible.
Morgan Freeman, but it hasn't really got off the ground
Yeah.
yet.
I think you
I do.
still just have the same 4 words.
Andy Dufresne.
Okay, 2. It's the same 2 words.
Oh, that's good. I do a good Morgan Freeman. Andy Dufresne. Sounds just like him.
Does anybody have a lozenge?
So there was this guy. We were in Vegas and we were walking by, and there was a guy asking for spare change. And he sounded something similar to bad change. Jordan just goes, I'll give you a lozenge for free.
I jumped like you know, like when we got closer and he like said something. I was like, oh, like dude, that guy needs a lozenge. He doesn't need money right now. He needs a
That
lozenge.
poor guy. Yeah.
Some cough syrup.
Some Ricola.
He needs a few Ricolas and a bag of crack, and he is gonna have himself a nice afternoon.
He can be one of those Las Vegas sewer people. You ever seen that documentary?
Oh, I watch those videos all the time.
I've seen multiple different
Too
ones.
many.
But apparently, like the one time it rains in Vegas, like literally they're all like, "Get out of the sewer!" And, like,
Dude, of course.
and it literally just floods out the sewer. Like, all right, gotta start over again.
It's gonna blow.
You just have a guy wearing catcher's gear at the end of it, trying to like grab some possessions. Like a dog flies by him.
Yeah. An entire garbage bag full of cans.
It's just like, that's my food for the month. Yeah.
It always looks so homey. You're like, wow, they actually did a pretty decent job with a few tarps and a bed. It's like, yeah, I don't want to wake up and the first thing I have to do is walk to the local 7-Eleven to do a plumbing test. You know what I mean?
I
It's
think
just
if you're
rough.
already in the sewer, though, you should be able to find a place to take a dump.
You got to be courteous of your neighbors, man.
Right.
There's only so many.
Love thy neighbor, even when you live in a sewer.
Man, you can't go in the little cracks in the concrete because that's where the other crackheads smoke their crack and then or do heroin and pass out.
If you really want to go down a rabbit hole, the old abandoned subway tunnels in New York, there was one guy that straight up had cable somehow.
It's like the Teenage
that's
Mutant
dope.
Ninja Turtles. They
That's
just have a
sweet.
full
Yeah,
on-
he was like running somehow got like an extension cord through like 10 feet of concrete and then had like a small flat screen TV. And he's like, I get a couple channels down here. And he's just flipping through. And I was like,
Man,
what?
that crackhead ingenuity.
I don't even get that many channels in my basement.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm obsessed with stuff like that.
Yeah, the YouTube rabbit holes, especially being a dad, I'm sure you have, because the amount of stuff you've sent me on Instagram has spiked since you had your second kid,
Oh, I
and
have
it comes
done
at
very little.
random times. It's like, oh, Brandon at 2:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. It's like, oh,
probably drunk.
yeah,
probably.
totally.
Yeah.
I know
me.
Brando. He was wasted.
Have you ever been hungover?
No.
Me neither.
It might be
Yeah.
a first. Might be a first for the pod.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
You just bring a whole new energy to the table right
Yeah,
now.
just a real pure kind of
Yeah.
wholesomeness,
So you just feel good like all the time?
like all the time. It's weird. Yeah.
Huh?
It's strange. I don't know. My mood is stable, and yep. I have heartburn from time to time.
Ooh,
I get heartburn with everything. Regardless, it's like I ate an apple. It's like I need a Tum.
No, that same. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just take a few hours off eating. I'm like, boom, heartburn.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I any like even like a sip of wine, I get bad heartburn. So I don't drink wine, but I just supplement that with literally every other type of booze I can find.
you drink?
I've been known to throw back a couple. I walked 3 miles home on Friday.
Wow. Jeez.
My legs are still sore. So it's like the
It's
most.
not very many.
Why don't you just Uber.
You know what? I didn't think about. I don't. Well, first of all, I'm banned from Uber, and second of all, I don't think there was any lifts out. When you accidentally kick a guy's mirror off in an Uber, and
I mean, I've definitely been there before. When you drink copious amounts of alcohol, Brando, it's a little fun fact for you. Sometimes common sense and reason just kind of goes out the
you
window.
forget about the last 15 years of technological advancement.
Sure. You're stuck in
yeah,
03.
just a few weeks ago, I was, a few sheets to the old wind, and I left the bar, and it did not occur to me to order any sort of ride service. What occurred to me was to dial everybody in my phone and try a ride that way.
Did it work?
And then I ended up just jacking somebody's lift. So it's just like a whole
Okay.
circle of life.
Are you
Type thing.
Margaret?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how I got away with it. Like,
Are you Katie?
Bet your sweet ass.
Oh, there it is. Wow.
Damn it.
That's worse than wow.
Yeah, it's the
dude.
second one.
Jeez.
You're gonna get a.
All right. If anybody had 29 minutes as the first swear word, I let my guard down for 1 second.
Speaking of this, might get some swear words out of you, Brando. You were a milkman, and I have most of the questions I prepared were the logistics of how you were a milkman. What year was this?
This was 2014 and 15.
So people still, what were you doing? Glass?
Glass bottles. Uh-huh.
They still do that to this day, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember like when I was a kid that we would have like, there was a milkman that would come and deliver like cartons of milk.
The Schwan Man?
I don't know if it was a
And
Schwanman.
then bang your mom.
What?
That's not a swear word, is it?
No, but
No.
You never heard Milkman's kid? Mailman's kid?
Oh, we
Same
did.
thing.
I've
Plenty of those jokes.
never heard
A lot of milk.
But the
Gonna need more milk.
We had this
You're
tin
pregnant.
box. I don't know how you delivered it. If you like went to their door, if they had like a tin box,
Yep.
they had a tin.
It was
I don't
legit milkman. And some of the old folks had houses with like little doors in their walls that fed into their kitchen. Just put it in their walls.
Yeah, that's some serious great.
Yeah, that's an
Depression.
old school thing. In houses, they've literally had that little. It's like a baby safe haven where you can drop off a baby if you're just not feeling it. It's like that, but for milk.
Just like that.
You open it and you're like, I got 4 quarts of milk and a child.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, like we would get these like half-gallon cartons of milk, and they would in that tin box. And I'm like, what if you weren't home for like an hour? You just have hot milk.
Well, I can speak at length about this.
Okay, like
Please.
so do you ever come back to deliver again and there's just old milk in there?
Okay. So that's what we call
Or
it.
it just explodes?
So it's called an MIB, a milking box. And we had
Not Men in Black.
no, not
Okay.
a Man in Black. No, this was
Yeah, I got another milking box.
yep. And during the winter, no big deal, you
Yeah.
know. And it lasted. This was super fresh milk with like low preservatives and stuff like that. So it would last a whole week, but then end of the week it would start to go bad. So if somebody had a milking box, you pulled it out and took out their old milk, put in the new milk. During the winter, not a big deal because insulated box and all that, it doesn't really freeze. If they like kept it cracked for whatever reason, yeah, it obviously explodes. But during the summertime, I still get like flashbacks. I wake up in a cold sweat thinking about this. In the summertime, it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. The milk turns into this sponge. I don't know what scientifically it is, but the curds or whatever,
It changes scientific like shape.
it separates and like something becomes literal like a sponge. The liquid separates and then the sponge expands and it explodes the milk bottles, and then it's been 95 degrees for 4 days, and you run up as a jolly little milkman at 4 in the morning and you throw the milk box open and you're and it's the worst smell and it's the worst sight you've ever seen. You wish that you just stumbled upon a murder instead. It's somebody's milking box. It's the worst. So
Well, if you stumble upon a murder, then you probably get the rest of the day off because you're talking to police and stuff. So
probably
that's
not.
why it would
Not
be
this
better.
place. When I killed the cow, they made me keep delivering. Yeah. They just wanted the help.
So was there like because I know there's old school milk trucks. Did you have like a milk / bread truck that you drove around, or was it just like a van?
So it's like a UPS truck kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah. It was kind of
What, were you by yourself?
Yep. All the time.
were they clanking in the back?
Oh yeah, just like 4,000 pounds of glass bottles behind you. It's just always clanking around.
And the cow story goes how?
Oh boy. So I'm delivering my milk on this one night, and we would get started around like 11 p.m. and had to be done by 6:30 a.m., which most nights weren't too hard, but this night was a country route. And like the best routes were cities where it was like, you know, you have one square block and you have, 10 houses on that one block. You can knock them out really quick. This was a country route. And so like I'd have sometimes like 4 or 5 miles between each stop. And so my truck was governed. It couldn't go past 75. And so I would just floor my milk truck. And I would get up to 75 between every stop. And I would never wear a seatbelt, and the doors would open back and back and stay open.
Would
And,
milk like fly off the shelving back there?
once in a while, if you forgot, like the milk crates like click into each other.
Oh,
So as
okay.
long as you clicked it, but oh man, there are multiple times where I like stop really hard and then I hear the milk crate like, and then it explodes. Yeah. And it is glass. So I almost died one time just from landing on like the shard. It literally was like right here. And at the last minute I was able to twist. It almost pierced literally right where my heart was. And it went under my armpit instead. So anyway, dark, obviously super dark night.
It's a dangerous job.
It wasn't. Well, gosh, there's so many Milkman stories. I don't even.
Yeah, first of all, you get an MIB. You think your life's over, and then you gotta. I feel like this is the plot of a horror movie. You're like, I was delivering milk on a country road.
Yeah, it could be like maybe like a Tucker and Dale.
Yeah,
sort of like dark comedy. You know, like one milkman. This is a tangent again. Sorry, but he sliced his wrist open on a glass bottle. And they had to like ambulance him out, and he called Wendell, one of the milkmen. Was like,
of course, his name's Wendell.
He was like, you need to come get me. I'm getting cold, and it was like 87 degrees outside. And so they went and they got this guy, and the lawn was like squick when they stepped on it. So, and it was the guy's blood. So anyway, milkmanning's not for the faint of heart. But
Did they patch him up then send him back out on the route?
Yeah, no.
Just get back out there.
I don't think he ever delivered again.
Oh, it's probably a good
I don't
place
think he
to
ever
stop.
lived again.
Yeah.
Do you get tips?
Can we let him finish his story?
Oh,
Okay.
You're gonna make me swear by jumping the gun.
Keep that in mind. That's a great question. Okay, so I'm delivering, and on this night, okay, so this isn't what happened for anybody who happens to see this, but it would be so bright out there when the moon was out that I could turn the headlights off and drive around. That is not what happened on this night, though. It was super dark.
Interesting side note.
Interesting side note.
I feel like you were doing that.
That's not what was happening. What was happening, I'm just using that to illustrate the point of how bright it could get. And on this night, no moon at all. So it was like perfectly pitch black outside. No moon. And I'm driving to my next stop, and I see something up ahead of me in the just in the road, and I think for some reason it looked like a tumbleweed at first. So I lift my foot off the gas and I try to tap the brake, and it's just too late because like there, right in front of my milk truck, is a gigantic black cow. And I'm going at least 55 miles an hour. I hadn't hit the governor yet, and I freaking smashed into this cow, and it goes flying into the left ditch, and I go flying. I just ricocheted off each other, and I go flying into the right ditch and just like bumping through this ditch, and I'm going for some telephone poles, and I'm like not able to steer because where I hit the cow, it like destroyed the computer. So I'm trying to steer away from these telephone poles and nothing's happening. So, just cry out to God.
Yeah, it's like, I had a good one, I guess.
Exactly. And so anyway, I like my truck somehow gets righted in the ditch. So now I'm like, okay, I'm just going to hit the brake, and I'm like slamming on the brakes and nothing's happening. So brakes are out, steering's out. I've got 4,000 pounds of glass shrapnel right behind me. And to be honest, the security rail for this milk, it's literally stacks of milk crates that are 5.5 feet tall, and there's a metal bar that they welded in, and it's 1 inch tall. And that's what's holding, and it's 5 feet up in the air. And so like the middle of all the milk crates are just like ready to fly out, basically. And so it was pretty sketchy, and milk bottles are literally like jumping out of the crate and like flying out the door, and I'm bumping down this ditch, and I end up hitting somebody's driveway whose driveway was like built across the ditch, and I hit it and I ramp into the air and I go into the other ditch. It's crazy.
So you cleared the entire driveway.
It was like the beginning of Dumb and Dumber at the dog. Yeah. And back onto the road into the other ditch, and then I just crashed through a fence and then into a tree. And I'm like, holy crap. Like, I can't even, it was the most surreal thing when I'm living it, because I remember, like, just like take a mental note of what's happening right now, because this is either the last moment of your life or it's going to be a great story. And I burst through this fence, and I call my boss, and I sound like I've been weeping because I have so much adrenaline. And I'm like, Matt, truck 48 is down,
MIB, MIB.
Call it in. And he's like, oh, did you get a flat tire? Or yeah.
Did you get a flat tire?
Yeah.
Boy, do I.
Boy, yeah.
Got 4 of them. Truck 48 is down.
Down. Could I have communicated that any less effectively? It was so ridiculous. He's like, what do you mean it's down? There was a cow. I don't even know where I am at this point because my milk stop was off of a side road, like a ways back, and so I just have gone past it. So I have to like try to describe where I am. He calls the highway patrol. They take forever. Like half hour later, they finally come up. I see them going up the main highway, and then they turn onto the road I'm on. And when they turn onto the road, I'll never forget their headlights were just obscured by stampeding cattle. They had broken down a fence, and it was a lady cop. She winds her way through the cows, and it was a rival dairy's cow, so it was a bit of a hit job, I think. And she measured with her wheel thing from the blood stain to my stopped milk truck. It was over a quarter mile that I went on this journey. So it was an intense night, and so then we get a backup milk truck and we slide all the milk into the backup milk truck, hose it off because it's covered in glass shards, and my boss is like, so you feel like making more milk stops? I was like, yeah, I guess so. And so he just drove the whole night, and then I ran every delivery, and so we did it together, and it was a beautiful night. And then afterwards we had to stop, and they made me pick up all the glass I could find in the ditch. It was pretty insulting.
This is definitely your fault.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then they made me take 3 days off, unpaid, and then...
But they made you work the rest of the night.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you need to heal from this.
Yeah.
Take 3 days off. Thanks for finishing your route, though.
Exactly. And then I got a call from the boss, and my direct supervisor had chewed the head boss out and was like, it's not even his fault. This is bull crap. So they gave me 3 days paid off. It was tight.
Whoa.
Highly recommend it if you need some time off.
Hitting a cow.
Yeah. So a couple things that go through my mind here. If you've seen the new Vacation movie with Ed Helms, when he's driving a 4-wheeler and he's waving to his family and he looks ahead and he just drives a 4-wheeler right through a cow.
Okay.
And then they're
through a cow.
pretty much. And then they're hosing him off. He's just covered in blood.
Okay.
And he's like, is the cow okay? And he's like, no, the cow ain't okay. You drove plumb through him. Second thought I had on there.
Well, what were the remains of the cow? Did you investigate?
Yeah, I saw the cow because it was in the ditch, where the glass, they were making me pick up the glass, and I was kind of looking over at it the whole time. It had definitely, its anus had seen better days. It
succumbed to his injuries.
It succumbed, and it was it looked like a pretty normal cow until you saw its butthole, and it was just apparently that's I squeezed the tube of toothpaste out, and it just, and my truck was 24 feet long, and there's a 16-foot poop and blood stain down the side. I can give you guys pictures. It was.
You could have had milk steak while you're waiting for the highway patrol.
Absolutely could have, but
you get there and you're just grilling over a fire.
Which is just the hood of my truck. Yeah.
It's just on the truck that's on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was thinking highway patrol, they get a call and they're like, some guy just hit a cow and then ran through a fence and then jumped over a driveway and hit a tree, and they're like, another drunk driver's out on the road, and then they come out to find Brandon, who had just been delivering milk, and you're like,
totally innocent.
Yeah, this person's not drunk.
No, not at all.
Oh man.
No. It was an intense situation, so it was a fun one though. I like that story.
Was the milk pasteurized or up to your nipples?
Wait, what?
That's a joke that's so bad. Is it pasteurized or
pasteurized
or just up to your nipples?
All right. Are suicide jokes allowed in this new
I don't think there's no swearing.
I'm going to kill myself.
Much like that cow, I'm going to huck myself in front of the nearest milk truck.
There are a few around.
Maybe that cow was just you know what?
It had it.
Lived a good one.
Exactly.
That's how it wanted to go.
It was essentially like the movie The Happening with Mark Wahlberg. They just didn't want to live anymore.
Oh, yeah. There's no swearing in saying that, so I'll let it slide. We lost a lot of good men out here in this podcast.
Just me.
I want to be the person that comes out who you ramped over their driveway, and they're like, "Oh, heading to work in the morning." She's a school teacher driving down to just this bloodbath of you picking up shards of glass and half a cow that's just prolapsed anus just out,
And just tire tracks that disappear like some Harry Potter vehicle, because I landed right on the road and then back into the other ditch. So I don't know if she would have just seen tire tracks just disappear. Like Hagrid.
This is platform 9 3/4.
Yeah, exactly.
How did any of this milk survive?
I don't know how.
The fact that you're like, "Yeah, let's take this milk and get it delivered." It's like, I'm like, let's take this job and find a new one.
I quit. I destroyed a $100,000 vehicle, and then I quit a month later.
That's the way to, that's a power
Yeah,
move
that
right
is
there.
that might. I've heard of rage quitting. That might be the long game of even the best.
Thank you.
So you hit a cow and then move back to North Dakota.
Like
Yep.
your first day back from paid leave, just I quit. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it was like a month later.
My mom did that at Cracker Barrel, actually.
Nice. That's the way to go.
It's dope.
We're recording on tax day.
Wow.
Did you do your taxes?
Like a while ago.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm happy to announce that I'm now on team tax extension.
Oh, okay.
Filed today. I'm pretty sure I got scammed. So
Oh, okay.
Excited
Hire an accountant or no?
no, I just filed an extension on my own.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I went through the IRS website, so hopefully, is that a scam? Or
Probably
taxes
not.
a scam?
Does it say irs.com or irs.gov?
No, they like made you go through like one of their trusted parties.
Okay.
So I'm probably out a bunch of money right now.
Probably.
For legal reasons, I'm not going to talk about my taxes.
Fantastic.
I don't want to incriminate myself.
Yeah, same. That I've filed them and got some money. That's all I need to say.
Do you have an accountant?
I have a financial advisor who
Doubles.
who's not technically an accountant but does taxes and knows the loopholes and makes me very happy every year.
That's what I need. I need the loopholes. That's what I need. I need to find them. Where are they at? I don't know. I'm an average Joe.
I don't know. But pro tip, everybody should own their own business, just legally, because even if you don't operate or make any money through the business, it's all just a write-off. I bought a bunch of tools for woodworking. Boom, write-off. I know a guy who runs a YouTube channel, and he went out and went on a shopping spree and then used it as as wardrobe for the YouTube channel. Write-off. He wrote off like $1,000 in clothes. You should just do it.
One thing about that, though, I've known very poor business owners who just assume if you write off everything, but you probably should make a little bit of money.
Probably.
Because you could lose, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars and be writing everything off, but you're still... The taxes aren't going to save you.
No.
Let's make that clear.
Definitely not.
Like some people are just like, I could write it off. Like, okay, well, is there a profit anywhere? Are we sustaining? People just assume that, and I've definitely heard of somebody before who had a business that didn't go very well. They're like, oh yeah, they told me to write everything off, and it's like, okay, that comes with a cost as well. It's not just
Right.
the write-off debate in America. I don't think is understood very well at all.
I definitely don't understand it, so don't take that as legal or financial advice, but you absolutely should do it.
If you've ever seen the show Schitt's Creek about how the guy...
SCHIT,
Yep.
so not a...
Yep. How he explains a write-off, that you just don't have to pay for it, is how I think write-offs go.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. It's you still have to pay for it.
Right.
It's still it's not just a credit card with the government.
It's like the mystery of childbirth. I'm just never going to understand it.
Yeah, I don't. I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Do you
happened.
want to be in the room? No.
No, my nurses were not like that. They were like, hold the leg! I was like, holy crap, I'm looking down the barrel right now. So.
No, it's like in The Grinch. It's similar to Milkman deliveries. You just check your front door, and one day there is a baby in a basket that floated down.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You ever seen The Grinch? That's how it works.
Which one? The
The
Carey
Grinch Stole
one?
Christmas? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's how.
Never?
Terrified.
Matt
of him.
doesn't do well with The Grinch.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't touch you with a 33.5-foot pole.
Scares the shit out of me. He still lives in my basement
I
at my
believe
mom's
it's
house.
39.5 feet, but
I was the one up until I was like, well, about 30 years old. If I'm ever in my mom's basement and I shut off the light, I sprint out because he lives down there and he's going to get me.
Okay.
Speaking of business ideas, I came up with one that I think is actually pretty good.
Okay. Enter the Shark Tank.
Yep.
Brandon and Jordan.
And this one involves okay. You being involved for that reason, I'm out. This involves like if you have possessions that you want to destroy, like maybe an old computer, and you just want the gratification of throwing it off a large building.
Okay.
Or like I just build some sort of dive platform that people can take their possessions to and throw them off. And you pay per possession you throw off. And then I also put like video cameras at the bottom. So they pay. They're like, yeah, I wanted to destroy my ex-girlfriend's piano. It's like, all right, we have a place for you. And then we'll give them like a slow-mo like video of like, because they get all the gratification of throwing it, but then they also get just a video of it exploding.
like a little hype video to go with
Yeah.
it. What kind of investment are you seeking?
I basically just need land and or a building, and then some sort of old swimming platform that I can just move there that we can go up on, and some sort of crane and or elevator to get the larger objects up there.
And some sort of insurance, a very hefty insurance policy.
I don't think it'll be that bad because they say it's not that bad on like
Yeah, until homeboy falls off the diving board.
until he's like, I'm gonna push my ex-girlfriend's jet ski off, and he has the thing like still strapped to his wrist, and it just goes. I was trying to think of other things that you're like strapped to, but
Yeah, I gotta say this is top 5 worst business ideas I've ever heard.
I think when I was explaining it to a table full of inebriated people, it
I
made
think I was
more
part of that.
sense. You were all on board. You're like, this is a great idea.
It's like a rage room, Brando.
it's a rage.
People pay for a rage room. All this is doing is, and I don't know why I'm
Elevating
defending
it.
Matt here,
Right.
but
Like the only thing I wanted to do when I was in Vegas was get the window open big enough so I could
yeah.
throw furniture out of it, and it wouldn't open that much.
like pull a Morgan Wallen, like
Yeah.
we talked last week.
and so
He
it's
threw
like,
a chair off of a
And then-
6th floor bar.
yeah, and then we'll do the cleanup. So even if you just want to get rid of stuff and just want to see it explode, you're like, you know what, this TV sucks. It's broken. I could take it out to the dump and pay $5, or I could pay $20 and get a video of it
Hype video.
and get the satisfaction of throwing it off a 60-foot.
Yeah, we're gonna need some harnesses for sure.
Oh,
Definitely so.
yeah, it'd be some harnesses. Waivers need to be signed.
I'm just thinking of big clunky desktop computer. Remember those? They're
Oh,
like
yeah.
this wide from front to back, and they had that was like a glass screen. That's what I'm thinking would be.
And if it would stop working, you just like hit the top of it and it would like and then start working again.
Hums when you turn it on.
Yeah. Gets really hot. And you're like, oh, been on it for 40 minutes. Got to shut it off before it explodes.
Nobody in your family can make a phone call because you're using the dial-up internet.
Exactly. Play RuneScape. Any RuneScapers over here? No? No?
No RuneScapers in the
Yeah.
house, but I respect it.
Yeah, I had friends growing up, so. That's a lie. I didn't.
All my friends were on RuneScape.
On RuneScape, yeah. What do you mean? You had more friends than all of us combined.
I had like 20 friends. Most of them didn't live in the United States.
Just they were all named Muhammad or like Bahadaraj.
That was his first and last name. That's crazy.
We went to high school with this kid named Prajwal Bahadaraj, and he went to like Harvard or something. He's like some sort of engineer, and it's the oldest video on my phone is them announcing his name because he joined the football team because it looks good on college transcripts, and he just videoed every game, and they announce him winning a state title, and the guy says Prajwal Baharaj Raj on the Fargo Dome speakers. I'll like every probably month I send it to my brother because I just think it's the funniest thing.
That's great.
Dude,
Butchered
yeah.
it.
Yeah, a huge butcher job. What about like botched sayings? I was thinking of this one the other day. I was listening to this gal rant about somebody that she's not very fond of. And she said the saying, he made his bed, now he needs to lay in it too. right? Is that the correct saying?
I think she's kind of like morphing it to what's going on in her. It's like, you made your bed, now you gotta lay in it.
Yeah, that's the saying. But I was thinking, I laid in my bed and now I'm gonna make it. Is that just a basic saying?
No.
So you guys missed last week's open mic, but things got pretty heated between the group of comedians and a group of conservative Republicans.
So I hear. Uh-huh.
And there's one of them that I follow that his stuff is so funny to watch because he's just a lunatic. And he was driving, and I was watching it, and he's like, and out my window, there's Lake Chautauqua. And I was like, that's not how you say it. And then he said, that's just a ball-faced lie. And I was like, I was like, maybe I misheard him. And then he says it again, and I was like, he thinks it's ball-faced lie.
Is it bold face?
Yeah.
Okay. It was
Or bald.
the way you
face
said
lie.
it was so confident. I was like, wait, that's not.
That's a ball-faced lie. What? You just get balls in your face?
A lot
when
of
you lie?
wrinkles.
Yeah.
Ton of wrinkles.
Well, I mean, while we're down this,
Ball face.
yeah.
lie.
Now that we're talking about getting balls in your face, there's this guy that's running for senator in Montana, and this story just came out that he's been going around saying, he's like, I still got a bullet in my arm from Afghanistan. Then they found out what actually happened to him. He was in Yellowstone National Park walking by himself, tripped and fell, and accidentally shot himself.
Oh my gosh.
And he's just been going around saying it's like, it's from Afghanistan. And then like that all the documents came up, and then it like went through of him being questioned by like game wardens. And then he's like, no, I just fell and scraped it on a rock. And they're like, I know enough about medicine to know that that's a gunshot wound and not falling on a rock.
So he's trying to conceal it?
Yeah,
His own injury?
Yeah, because he accidentally shot himself.
Was the bullet still there? Was that a lie? Was that a ball-faced lie?
I think it's still in there, but he's been going around and be like, yeah, my bullet from Afghanistan's still in there. It's like, you were sightseeing, watching Buffalo, and shot yourself.
I believe that's called stolen valor.
Yeah.
Well, he was a soldier, but
That's still stolen valor.
love
If
it.
you're lying about what you did
Yeah.
in the military,
I did 3 tours in Afghanistan, and then I accidentally shot myself in a park.
Do you think we should all go to Afghanistan and go on some sort of tourist tour, and we'll be like, we went on a tour in Afghanistan,
I was
good.
thinking,
and then you're not lying.
Right. Exactly.
I was thinking about this for a joke of like, logistically, if I wanted to go to Afghanistan, how would I get there?
Yeah, do they allow that?
You can't just go on kayak.com and like
Amazing rates.
Yeah.
Amazing rates.
Google flights a Baghdad trip.
Should I look it up right now?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you fly into a friendly country.
Yeah, you
and
fly
then
into
have to
you fly into Jordan and then
drive to
through-
the border.
drive through the Triangle of Death.
All right, we are looking up cheap flights from Bismarck to Afghanistan.
Straight to Kabul. Wow, from Bismarck. There's
What if
There's a
we
flight.
just randomly had a one way trip trip to
we
Afghanistan?
don't have one-way flights to Denver, but we have one-way flights to Kabul.
Leaves once a week. It's just like, apparently North Dakotans just love Afghanistan
We do.
Okay.
for all the wrong reasons.
Departure anytime. Apparently, we can't do it until Saturday, November 16th.
Then I'm out.
Yeah. You know, and I was
Wait.
thinking maybe tomorrow.
Wednesday, May 29th. We're going to leave Bismarck at 10:53 a.m. We have 2 stops. We're going to Bismarck to Orlando, Orlando to Dubai, and then Dubai to, what's this place called, Brando? Kabul. There we go. $1,226.
That's not bad. Round
That's
trip?
actually
33 hours, 52-minute travel.
that's not bad at all. Even if
Yeah.
you didn't want to go to Afghanistan, you could still get to Dubai.
I know. I was going to say,
No.
can we just get off the flight at Dubai?
Now we look up Afghanistan hotels.
We're having a nice little price
Yeah,
line.
this is great. I'm
Yeah.
glad, dude. You should be a travel advisor.
Ooh, this one looks nice.
4.3
You're
stars.
dressed as Bob
Free
Marley
Wi-Fi.
doing.
Yeah.
Free parking, free Wi-Fi,
It's not going to go
spa.
well for Jordan. He's
Yeah.
going to get arrested.
And there's only a 30% chance that you get kidnapped.
Oh,
so
this one's
pretty
only
good.
$63.
Brittany
and it's got
Griner
the
over
spa.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, I am smart enough to know to not fly internationally with marijuana products on me.
Don't bring drugs on airplanes. Also, really don't bring drugs on Russian airlines.
Very fair.
And the vocabulary there is interesting of drugs. You know, in America now, I feel like marijuana is not even looked at as a drug anymore. It's more of a medicine, I would say. It's just a recreational drug. But Russia? I mean,
Yeah.
why would you
That's
mess
rough.
with Russia?
That's that and China. And
Yeah, why- yeah.
Afghanistan, which
Yeah,
is where we're
well-
going on vacation this year. But
For $63, we
Yeah.
have free parking in a spa.
I mean,
so.
that's
Yeah, the
pretty worth
the
it.
comedians all went to Afghanistan. Only like 3 of them came back.
Cole's just hanging out.
Yeah, Cole apparently was from Afghanistan. We just
Yeah,
didn't
he
know.
could be- he's one of those guys. Yeah, you
Racially
just don't know.
ambiguous. It's like he's Lebanese.
Yep.
But yeah,
He likes girls.
yeah.
That's stupid. Lesbian.
I added a Lebanese joke to my LGBTQ flag joke. Did you hear that one?
I don't think so.
I don't think you were there. I said I was hanging out with the ill-informed, and we saw the LGBTQ flag go by, and the guy said, "What country is that?" I said, "I don't know, but they sure have some ugly women." And now I'm trying to add something like, yeah, and when 2 women like each other, I believe that's called Lebanese.
Okay, there you go. Punching it up. I
Is lesbian a swear word? Because chalk me up then.
think so. I did one similar where it was like because now in the new pride flag they've got black people, which I really like that. You know, it's like
I'm gonna look this up and you stay informed.
yep, it's like all the rainbow colors and then there's just like a black triangle, black and brown.
Why don't we just put
Okay.
every color on it, and
Yeah.
then like
I think
never
there
have,
is every color.
Yeah.
we
I
never-
looked it up.
Is this
There's-
Roy G. Biv? Is that a thing?
Yep.
I'll order one for the studio.
Okay, I already
Yeah.
have one on my
That'll
front
be
porch.
great. You guys are the beacons of sexual equality.
Got a perfect spot for it back
Oh yeah,
here.
right next to her.
Yeah. Yeah, our January 2024 local swimsuit model. She's actually not bad. She flipped through the old ones. Yikes.
Yikes.
Just say October was a
Wolf.
bad month.
Yeah,
Okay, so the black line is just black people.
Yep.
What is the brown one?
All brown people.
And the light blue?
Trans.
light blue people.
Yep.
So is all the other colors, is that just generally gay?
Depends on how deep we want to go down this rabbit hole. I think the rainbows all.
Yeah, I mean gay.
I think gay. I think so. The various types of gay, but then we start getting into the triangle, and
Yeah.
then that's where we get into the.
Is this white
Ts.
people?
No,
Okay.
that's
They're not on there?
Maybe it is. I don't know. It's probably. I think that has to do with transgender. I don't know.
I have a theory I want to throw by you guys. The more a person pronounces the H in the word white, the more racist they are.
Why? Why do you say that?
There was this guy that I used to work with, and he was a lot racist. And he used to be like, when he'd be like, "Oh, what tees are you playing from on the golf course?" And he'd be like, "We're gonna tee off from the white tees."
You added in an accent there. That was like a southern accent.
Yeah. But all
This
right.
is the
There's
type of
some
guy who's
validity to
ordering
that.
a Confederate flag. to his house.
For
Yeah.
sure.
We're over here ordering the newest LGBTQ flag.
Yeah. At first, you don't secede. You try again.
Another botched phrase, but that one makes it better even.
There's just a T-shirt that has a Confederate flag on it. It says,
That's good.
first you don't secede. Try again.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's in my closet.
Oh, nice.
All right. Well, Brando, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know you have actual real life responsibilities. So,
Realize
Unlike
children.
Matt and I.
yep.
It's okay.
Hey,
get
I have
there.
to take care of myself. That's important.
It's a
Because if you
handful.
can't take care of yourself, how do you do it?
Right. Yep. I know. You got to have a wife who does.
I just wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the munchies too much because it's 420. Happy 420 episode, Brando. Honored to have you here
Thank
on
you. Glad to be
420.
here.
Just the most perfect guest for this particular
Yeah.
show. Final tally, swear words. I said the ASS and the DAM it word. That's 2. Matt 0.
Brando
0.
said the PISS.
In the re-watching of this, you will find that Matt said the S word somewhere about 20 minutes ago, and I gave him a look, and that was it. So
Okay, so Matt, I still lose. Matt wins 2-1.
Okay, well, I want to get this on the record because I don't want to be tied. Fuck.
whoa,
Wait, now we're tied.
Well, Brando wins then. I didn't want to tie for the win.
okay, thank you.
Final tally, Jordan 2, Matt 2, you shitbags. It was a little joke I've been working on. No, happy 420 tax day. Hopefully you did your taxes. If not, well, whatever. You do you. This is America that we're in. Brando, upcoming shows. Want to plug anything? What do you got?
Oh, man, I've got 420 at Dakota Stage. That's sold out.
Secondary
See.
market's about to pop
So,
off.
too
for
bad.
that.
The scalping market on that one, and then I don't know if many people are going to be interested on this one on your podcast, but I'm doing a church show May 4th. So come to New Song Church on May 4th at some point.
What, you
6
don't know the
o'clock,
details on that?
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, something like that.
Excuse
May
me.
the 4th be with you.
Exactly.
Is it
see
Friday?
that.
Saturday? What is that?
It's Saturday.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll be.
I'll be in Fargo, or I would have totally been there.
Well, that's okay. You should cancel your trip.
Matt's not going to be in Fargo.
No, I actually am.
Well, earlier when you said that your brother likes comedy, music, and magic, that was the show that Matt and I went to probably about a year ago that you did your own gig on.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's exactly what Brando had. was
Exactly. Oh wow, that's true. And it's
magic,
the same,
music, and comedy.
Same magician.
Yeah.
Even
Final question: is your brother an author?
my brother is an
Okay.
author. Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned that. He does a lot of things. He writes books. He writes books, and he's an author.
Oh, cool. So he's got all three bases covered.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Now let's get out of here. Make sure to follow the podcast.
Follow No Brains No Headache on Instagram and Facebook. Come to their comedy show. This will already be out, but 4/18.
No, it won't be out. It's coming out tomorrow.
Oh.
Just a couple spots left, so if you want, listen to the show in time. April 18th, Thursday, Stadium Sports Bar. It's the local watering hole. Seats are just about sold out, so good luck, but
Do you have to
come
buy a
on
table,
by.
or is there still?
You can buy a table. I have to see, moments notice here of what's available. I think there's only one table left, but we'll do standing room only the day of. There's like only about 25 of those tickets available. So
Nice.
get on it or don't. We have more shows coming up that might wrap up the spring season of shows for me, at least. I can't keep doing the same jokes, Got to switch it up.
It's tough.
That's all right.
Let's get out of here.
Brando, thanks for coming on, man. Next up, episode 197.
This is a freestyle off the top of the dome. Here we go. And I do it